SGV. I joined the Management Services Division of SGV in 1965. That's how long it was. How long ago it was. And worked under Engineer Cesar Virada, who was head of Management Services Division. And by the way, later on, Tito Aliga worked with me in SGV. Mr. Sisip, founder of SGV, talked to me at that time and discussed that early his vision on the impact of technology and computers. Remember, this is 1965. The impact of technology and computers in the world of business. He believed in the brain power and the competence of the Filipino professional. And he pushed the SGV organization to move forward into uncharted fields. Computers, regional operations, excellence in accounting. He hired the best graduates from the best schools. But he was not worried that eventually many of them would be pirated by other companies after gaining experience. He transformed the accounting and consultancy profession in the country using the state-of-the-art technology at that time. SGV was, in 1970s, SGV was known as the largest auditing firm in the world west of Chicago. That's a leadership in accounting, in management. Second, Don Eugenio Lopez of the Meralco Group. Mr. Lopez believed, these are people that I personally have been able to work with, and therefore I can share some of these experiences. Mr. Lopez believed in the Filipino with a passion. In 1965, he led the takeover of Meralco, the largest electric utility in the country, and put Filipino engineers to replace the Americans. The late 1960s were the golden era for Meralco. He brought in young Filipino engineers and managers and undertook major projects never before imagined could be done by Filipinos. Meralco then, under Filipino engineers and managers, compared with the most efficient electric utilities in the world. He pushed for the construction of the fuel oil pipeline from Caltex and Shell in Batangas to Manila. Then the lube oil plant in Pililla. Then the Philippine Electric Transformer plant in Taytay, and many others. I was lucky that at age 29 in 1967, he challenged me to put me in charge of leading the construction of that oil pipeline, supervising 2,000 people. And then after its inauguration in 1969, put me in charge of building the first electric transformer plant in the country. Our team was a very young team, and he challenged us and trusted us. With a good leader like him, we young people then discovered many competencies and strengths inside us, which we did not know existed in us. At Phileg, I started with many new graduates from the College of Engineering. In fact, I pirated some professors, and Louis Pascual, Kathy, to consult and help us put up the systems. I pirated Mac de los Reyes, who was teaching here. And one of the few people that I brought in, one of the many people I brought in, not few, is Ed Painor here. Tama ba, Ed, 1970? Yes, sir. So we started very young with new graduates, and we built the Philippine Electric Corporation, and it was quite a success. And we did it the Filipino way. We, of course, had the Japanese Hitachi partner, but we were doing it our way, transforming high-end technology to the Filipino way, given the resources that we had, and successfully did it. Okay, now let's move on to another field. Mr. Jose Y. Campos of United Laboratories. Mr. Campos set up United Laboratories from a very modest beginning in Santo Cristo in Chinatown to become the largest pharmaceutical company in Southeast Asia. He had an all-Filipino team whose binding vision was the Bayanihan system and the Employees' Council. He believed in the welfare of the ordinary workers and inspired in them a sense of loyalty such that the Bayanihan management system became a model for many corporations in the country. He believed that ordinary people can be motivated to generate extraordinary results. Again, I had the benefit of being part of that management team in the 1970s after I left Philippine Electric. I had the benefit of having solved some of the very challenging problems through a combination of technology management and inspiring people to do more than what they thought they were capable of doing. In fact, when I was brought into United Lab, I was told, since they had big problems in operations and logistics, I was told I can replace or fire any or all of the 5 people that would be reporting to me. Actually, after talking to them, they knew the solution. What was needed was for them to be brought into the problem analysis and problem solving mode. And none of them moved up, and we solved the problem, and we moved it forward very, very fast within a 6 months period. The first manufacturing and materials planning system put into the computer was done during that time. And it was done by the people we had with a little guidance. And finally, let me talk about Mr. Jaime Sobel de Ayala of the Ayala Group. They call him JZA, as the older Jaime Sobel. He's a soft-spoken diplomat who believed in the power of synergy among executives who must work together towards a common goal. He valued the primacy of the individual, integrity and pride in excellence. But most of all, he was very committed to nation building. And he was prepared to risk all when the nation's interest was threatened. He did that in opposing Marcos during the time prior to the 1986 revolution, peaceful revolution. And he was prepared to risk all as necessary in the situation called for. He inspired those working within the Ayala Group towards progress. But financial returns to him was secondary to the overriding requirements of moral standards of behavior. He is a believer in technology for the enhancement of performance and competitiveness of Ayala companies. In fact, all the Ayala companies had to use technology, and if you look at Banco Philippine Islands, it was one of the most of the leaders in the use of technology in the banking system. I made reference to contemporary leaders in government and in business, just to give you an insight into this thing about leadership vis-a-vis management. Let me now bring you closer to how you can exercise leadership in your own respective fields. I have been involved in organizational transformation in many situations which required very strong leadership to succeed. We were involved in rehabilitating a bankrupt company with very radical and militant union, KMU, in arresting a very fast deteriorating condition of a large export company with thousands of employees, that's IMI. In corporate transformation of a telecommunications company, that's Globe. And finally, in the privatization of a government-owned public utility, that's Manila Water. In all instances, the key to success was the clear understanding of the ordinary person, his needs, his wants, his problems, and how to relate his future, his or her. Sabihin nyo, puro his ako eh. His or her future to the vision and direction of the organization. Technology was always a tool that was later placed in the hands of inspired, trained, and motivated people. If you don't have people that are motivated, technology will not work. I started with the premises of management of technology and moved on to a discussion on effective leadership. Without effective leadership, even efficient management will not succeed. It is effective leadership that will harness the efficient management of technology toward a clearly defined goal. Let me therefore end my talk with some suggestions on the management of technology. First, and I repeat, technology is a tool. It is an enabler that must be used as a means to respond to clearly defined problems or needs. And I repeat, clearly defined problems or needs. Number two, managing technology starts with an understanding of people. People make things happen. Technology does not eliminate people. It empowers people. Number three, imported technology is not always directly transportable to the local setting. Adaptation requires a clear understanding of what the technology is expected to accomplish locally. The environment determines how well the technology can work. If necessary and possible, innovative thinking and action can even change the environment so that technology can be harnessed and made to work. And finally, I repeat, never fall in love with technology for technology's sake. In one of the companies that I turned around, one of the operations that really became a dog was because they were in the state-of-the-art technology for their own reasons. And that is dangerous because money is lost when you fall in love with technology for its own sake alone, in business. In research organization, that's fine. But when you are in business, it must be technology for the direction, for the direction and the problem that you are solving. Fellow engineers and would-be engineers, you can make a difference. Challenge norms, find ways to do things differently, take some risks, but by all means, always keep in mind, define the problem clearly and use technology to empower people. I emphasize this, define the problem clearly. Because in the real world, and where I have experienced situations, very often the solution is put in place before the problem has been clearly defined. And so you have a solution, but you have not defined the problem. And therefore you spend a lot of money using technology for the wrong reasons, solving the wrong problems, or not solving the problem at all. Since from the looks of it, since some of you are not yet in a position to be involved in real-world problems to respond to leadership and management challenges that I have posed before you, let me share with you what I did and what I advised my sons when they were here in college. How many are still students here? Can I have a raising of hands? Puro mga oldies yata narito eh. But anyway, let me share with you what I did when I advised my sons when they were here in college. Balance your education by participating in extracurricular activities. Join a fraternity, a sorority, a college or departmental organization, and learn how to get things done with and through others. Start developing your people handling skills. Of course, make sure you pass and do well in your core subjects. Sometimes you get too excited with your extracurricular, your frat, your sorority, your orgs, and then you stay in college longer than necessary. After all, you must be a good engineer by the time you get your diploma. Finally, after your graduation, work closely, even when you're already working, work closely with a good leader. and later try to be that leader who will make technology work for you. Thank you and good luck to all, and I'm very happy to answer questions and share with you other experiences if you deem it necessary. Thank you very much.